Hi everyone! Our topic is all about merger in quick food service operation. And before we start our topic, I want you to present a short clip video about what our topic is all about.
Okay, let's do this. Today I'm going to teach you something about mergers and acquisitions. Products and services are things that larger companies can often build or provide more cheaply and more efficiently. In order to grow larger and gain the advantages of size, companies sometimes buy other companies. In this case, we talk about a merger or an acquisition. Mergers and acquisitions are often very large, important and costly projects that can change companies enormously. Because the whole acquisition process is very complex and involves many different areas, companies often bring in lots of advisors. When a new acquisition is being considered, one of the most important questions is, how much is the company worth? To establish the value of a company, you can compare the company to other similar companies, or you can estimate the profits the company will make in the future. Companies usually buy other companies in order to achieve cost savings or generate additional income. So it is also important for companies to estimate the future benefits. But putting a value on future benefits is not easy. Once the purchase has been completed, the companies may need to be reorganized and new responsibilities may need to be assigned.
The largest restaurant acquisition of the past 2 decades. Restaurant valuation are seeing a surge. Ang halaga ng restaurant ay nakakita ng isang pagsulong. Gayon din sa kabila ng pabago-bago sa pagitan ng 2008 at 2015. Ang median valuation para sa mga restaurant na hawak ng publiko ay tumataas ng 8%. Mula 2016, mula sa data ng nakolekta sa katapusan ng Mayo, at ngayon, malapit na sa 2015 na antas. So what does this mean for the future of restaurant acquisition? Nowadays kasi kahit saan lugar ka magpunta is daming restaurant na ang sikat. Para sa isang bagay, patuloy silang lumalaki sa bilang at sa halaga at ang strategiya kung saan papatok ang kanilang restaurant.
Blooming Brands is a restaurant holding company that owns several American casual dining restaurant chain. Blooming Brands Inc. is one of the largest casual dining restaurant companies in the world. The portfolio of 5 founder-inspired brands is composed of Outback Steakhouse, Carabas Italian, Bonefish Grill, Flaming Spring Steakhouse, Wine Bar, and Roy's. Wendy's is a quick-service hamburger restaurant company. The company operates both franchise and company-owned restaurant. Wendy's fast food company that is the third largest hamburger chain in the United States, behind McDonald's and Burger King. Dave Thomas founded the first Wendy's restaurant in Columbus, Ohio in 1969. One of fast food's most famous branded logos, Wendy's cartoon image of red-headed, smiling girl was based on the appearance of the Thomas daughter, who also inspired the company's name. Dunkin' Donut. The origin of Dunkin' Donut go back to World War II when Rosenberg worked at the Quincy shipyard and realized that the workers had few options available to them for lunch. Following the war, Rosenberg borrowed $1,000 and used $1,500 in bond to start a company he called Industrial Luncheon Service and served sandwiches, coffee, donuts, and snack out of all telephone company truck that he had converted into what we now know as food trucks. In 1948, upon realizing that half of his sales were coming from coffee and donut, Rosenberg opened a restaurant in Quincy, Massachusetts called Open Kettle that sold coffee for 10 cents and donut for a nickel. While the shop was quickly a success in grossing over $5,000 per week, Rosenberg was not happy with the name. So he opted to change it, noticing that the customer dunked their donut in their coffee. The Open Kettle was renamed Dunkin' Donut in 1950.
Next is yung Kuwait Food Company or the Americana. This was sold by Al Khair National and bought by Emmer Properties. During 2016, the chairman of MR Properties na nag-decide siya na bilhin yung shares ng Kuwait Food Company sa majority nilang stockholders, amounting about $2.36 billion. Because of that deal, investor group acquire a 26% stake in Kuwait's Americana, which is yung nag-operates ng KFC and Pizza Hut restaurant sa Middle East and North Africa. Burger King yung buyer, and the seller is Diageo. Diageo is from London and he was known for having the largest liquor company. Binenta niya yung shares niya because gusto niya na mag-focus sa company liquor sale. It worth $2.2. Aside from the Diageo, had owned branch such as Pillsbury, Smirnoff, Johnny Walker, and so on. McDonald's China during 2017. Naibenta ng McDonald's ang karamihan sa China, which cost 2.1 billion. The 20-year deal kept months of negotiation between the fast food chain and private equity firms including Carlyle and TPG Capital Management LP. Next is the Red Lobster Darden sold Red Lobster to the Golden Gate Capital for 2.1 billion in July 2014. Since the restaurant acquisition, yung seafood chain naging overseas na din for expansion. The chain has opened more than 20 international locations since it was acquired in 2014, bringing the number of Red Lobster overseas restaurant to the at least 51, and di pa kasama yung nasa Canada.
Restaurant Applebee's Grill Plus Bar. The buyer, IHOP. The seller, the company. In one of the most reported restaurant acquisition in recent memory, IHOP made a $1.9 billion bid for the struggling bar and grill chain Applebee's in 2007. Stewart, a former Applebee's International Inc. executive, said, once the deal closes, IHOP Corporation would revive the most Applebee's brand and increase its emphasis on franchises. It's a great brand, it just needs to be revitalized. We will fundamentally change the company's business model, moving it nearly completely out of the role of the owner-operator. But both brands have struggled to regain their footing along with dozens of other brands in the casual dining space. In the years since due, in August 2017, it was reported that some 100 Applebee's locations and roughly 20 IHOP would shutter their doors. An earnings reported released the same week showed the sales fell by more than 6% at Applebee's and nearly 3% at IHOP in the previous quarter. Popeyes. Buyer, Restaurant Brand International Inc. Seller, Company. Restaurant Brands International made headlines in 2017 when it announced it would acquire Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen for $1.8 billion in cash. The company is expected to use its international reach to bring Popeyes to new geographies around the globe. Restaurant Brands was formed in 2014 through an $11 billion merger between Burger King and Canadian chain Tim Hortons. Restaurant Company, Bob Evans Farms, Buyer, Post Holding, Seller Company. In September 2017, shares of Bob Evans Farms soared following the announcement that Post Holding Inc., making of honey bunches of oats and grapes nut cereals, would buy the company for roughly $1.5 billion after activist investor Thomas Sandel began pushing for change. Bob Evans announced it would split the company in 2017 when it sold its 522 Bob Evans restaurant to private equity firm Golden Gate Capital in a $565 million deals. The chain was then taken private as Bob Evans Restaurant. All in all, after the company sold their restaurant, they were new strategic ways to improve their business growth.
Krispy Kreme. In 2016, German conglomerate Job Holdings acquired Krispy Kreme Donuts Incorporation for a cool $1.35 billion. The deal marked the lastest feather in the cap for Job, which the same year had also required Caribou Coffee, Instant Nova Restaurant Group, Pete's Coffee and Tea, Stanton Roaster. So, Krispy Kreme Donut Corporation was founded in Winston-Salem in 1937 by Venom Rudolph. A few years earlier, Rudolph's uncle, a Polka store owner, had purchased a secret yeast-raised donut recipe and the copyrighted name Krispy Kreme from New Orleans chef Lebu. Starbucks. In June 2017, Starbucks announced the largest single acquisition in its history, a roughly $1.3 billion deal that would allow it to acquire the remaining 50% of shares of its in East China business. So, Starbucks was founded in 1971 by Jerry Baldwin and Gordon Boker at Seattle's Pike Place Market. During the earlier in 1980s, they issued the company to Howard Schultz, who after business trip to Milan, Italy, decided to convert the coffee bean store into a coffee shop serving espresso-based drinks. Chuck E. Cheese. In 2014, Apollo announced it would buy out Chuck E. Cheese parent CEG Entertainment, which operated 577 of the kid-friendly restaurants for $1.3 billion, including the assumption of debt in increased months. So, Chuck E. Cheese' full name is Charles Entertainment Cheese. According to his official box history, he's an orphan. He never had his own birthday. So instead, he fills the void by hosting birthday parties for everyone else.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Christine Datu, and now let's proceed to the Domino's. In 1998, Bain Capital, led by Mitt Romney, made a splash in signing a more than $1 billion deal for Domino's Pizza. Unlike many other acquisitions, Domino's was not in need of rescue or turnaround at the time. Instead, the company's founder, Thomas Monaghan, was looking to cash out all but a small stake and use the proceeds to start a Catholic university. Over the next 12 years, Bain reaped a 500% return on its investment. The next one is P.F. Chang's. It was 2012 when P.F. Chang's China Bistro sold for $1.1 billion to Centerbridge Partners. At the time, the Asian concept was struggling to shore up sales and foot traffic, and hoped the deal would provide it with greater flexibility to focus on a long-term strategic plan of elevating the guest experience, enhancing the value of proposition, growing traffic, and improving the performance of the company's brands. CKE Restaurant, buyer Apollo Global Management, seller company, price $1 billion. In 2010, once rumored Labor Secretary Andrew Pastor sold CKA to Leon Black's private equity firm Apollo Global Management in a deal that allowed Pastor to remain CEO. Apollo invested $436 million in the buyout and collected $996 million when exiting in November 2013. 3.5 years later, according to reports from the time, in 2013, Rourke Capital Inc., a deal to acquire CKE from Apollo. That deal reportedly valued CKA at between $1.65 billion to $1.75 billion. The next is Peet's Coffee and Tea, buyer Joe A. Kaiser BDT Capital, seller company, price roughly $1 billion. In 2012, Peet's Coffee and Tea was acquired for $974 million by JAB Holding. In 2015, it was announced that Peet's would acquire a majority stake in the Chicago-based Intelligentsia Coffee and Tea. JAB has since gone on to acquire a number of large coffee and bakery chains including Caribou Coffee and Panera.
Portillo's Chicago's Best Beef is a popular fast food chain that specializes in Chicago-style hot dogs and Italian beef sandwiches. The history of the restaurant dates back to the early 1960s when it was founded by Dick Portillo. Dick Portillo started the business as a small hot dog stand called the Dog House in Abilene Park. In 1963, the stand quickly gained popularity for its delicious hot dogs and expanded to include other items like Italian beef sandwiches. Over the years, Portillo's Chicago's Best Beef continued to grow and expand. In 1994, the company opened its first drive-thru location, including a new concept to the brand. By the late 1990s, Portillo's had established itself as a beloved Chicago institution known for its quality food and nostalgic ambience. In 2014, Portillo's was acquired by a private equity firm called Berkshire Partners. The merger allowed Portillo's to benefit from the expertise and resources of Berkshire Partners to further expand its presence and reach more customers. Under Berkshire Partners' ownership, Portillo's has continued to flourish and expand across several states, over 60 locations to date. Despite the merger, Portillo's has managed to maintain its unique identity and commitment to serving high-quality food. The restaurant remains an iconic destination for locals and tourists alike, offering a taste of Chicago's famous cuisine and glimpse into Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen is a chain of casual dining restaurants in the United States. The history of Cheddar's can be traced back to the late 1970s when Aubrey Good and Doe Rogers opened the first Cheddar's restaurant in Arlington, Texas in 1979. The concept of the restaurant was to offer made-from-scratch dishes in a casual and relaxed atmosphere. In the early years, Cheddar's faced some financial difficulties and had to file for bankruptcy in 1987. However, Good and Rogers managed to turn the business around and eventually expanded to other locations in Texas. In 1996, Cheddar's was acquired by the restaurant company Advantica, which also owned other chains such as Denny's and El Pollo Loco under Advantica's ownerships. Cheddar's continued to grow and expand to more states across the country. In 2003, the private equity firm Oak Investment Partners acquired Cheddar's from Advantica. Oak Investment Partners aim to support Cheddar's expansion plans and enhance the brand's presence in the restaurants industry. Cheddar's continues to thrive and gain popularity mainly to its focus on scratch-made dishes, affordable pricing, and comfortable dining experience. The restaurant menus features a variety of American comfort foods, including steaks, burgers, salads, and homemade desserts. In 2017, Darden Restaurants, the same company that owns popular chains such as Olive Gardens and Longhorn Steakhouse, acquired Cheddar's for $780 million. This merger provided Cheddar's with additional resources and opportunities for growth. Since the merger, Cheddar's has continued to operate as a separate brand within Darden's restaurant. The company has opened new locations and expanded its customer base across the United States. Overall, Cheddar's Scratch Kitchen has a rich history that begins with humble beginnings in Texas and has grown into a well-known chain recognized for its made-from-scratch meals. Its mergers with Darden Restaurants has further solidified its position in the casual dining restaurant. Einstein Bros Bagels is a popular chain of fast casual restaurant known for its fresh baked bagels, sandwiches, and coffee. The history of Einstein Bros Bagels dates back to the 1990s when it was founded as a single store in Golden, Colorado. Over the years, Einstein Bros Bagels continued to expand its footprints, gaining popularity across the United States. The brand focused on offering a wide range of bagel flavors, as well as expanding its menu to include sandwiches, salads, and coffee. In 2014, Einstein Restaurant Group was acquired by JAB Holding Company, a European investment firm with a portfolio of food and beverage companies. JAB Holding Company aimed to further strengthen the Einstein Bros Bagels and expand its presence, particularly through strategic merger. In 2019, JAB Holding Company merged Einstein Bros Bagels with Caribou Coffee, a renowned specialty coffee chain. The merger created a new company called Coffee and Bagel Brands, which now operates both Einstein Bros Bagels and Caribou Coffee. Under its umbrella, the combination allowed for synergies between the two brands and expanded their market reach. Today, Einstein Bros Bagels continue to thrive as a popular destination for bagel lovers, maintaining its commitment to serving fresh, made-from-scratch food and providing more comfortable, friendly environment for its customers.
Dave & Buster's sold to Oak Hill Capital worth $570 million. It is a publicly traded company. Dave & Buster is a popular American entertainment and dining chain. It combines a restaurant and gaming arcade, offering a wide variety of food and drinks alongside range of arcade and video games. Customers can play games using card-based system and earn ticket to redeem for prizes. Dave & Buster location often feature a sports bar atmosphere with large oceans for watching games, making it popular destination for socializing, dining, and gaming. Dave & Buster was founded in December 1982 by David O. Carivia and James V. Corley. The first Dave & Buster's location opened in Dallas, Texas in 1982. So may similarity siya sa Tom's World and World of Fun. Ang pinagkaiba lang nila is meron siyang restaurant sa loob, which is pwede kang kumain kapag nagutom ka. Unlike sa Tom's World and World of Fun, arcade lang talaga siya, games lang. Checkers. Checkers was founded in 1986 in Mobile, Alabama by Jim Matei and went public in 1991. Rally's was founded in Louisville, Kentucky in 1985 by Tim Patterson. Checkers is a drive-in restaurant until it merged with Rally. Checkers and Rally is the fast food chain is indeed based in Tampa, Florida. The company was formed in 1999 when Checkers Drive-In merged with Rally's. It operates a drive-thru focus model for its burger, seasoned fries, hot dogs, milkshake, and various fast food offerings. They were originally two separated companies. There was a merger that occurred when both operations were experiencing financial issues. Since both companies were strong in different markets, it made sense to standardize operations for consistency and cost savings, but the names and brands and identities. Next one is Long John Silver's and A&W. Yorkshire Global Restaurant sell Long John Silver's and A&W in Tricon Global Restaurant Incorporated in $320 million in cash. In same year, Tricon Global changed the company name into Yum Inc. in May 2002. Long John Silver is a quick service chain founded in 1969 that specializes in seafoods. A&W Restaurants Incorporated is an American fast food restaurant chain distinguished by its burgers, draft root beer, and root beer floats. It is founded in 1919 in Lodi, California, United States by Roy W. Allen and Frank Wright. A&W stands for Allen and Wright, taken from the initial of their last names, Allen and Wright. The company became famous in the United States for its frosty mugs. The mugs were kept in freezer and filled with A&W root beer just before being served to customer.
Kahala Brand. Kahala Brand is a franchising company which focuses more on fast food restaurant. Kahala Brand is founded in 1981 by Kevin Blackwell. The company was bought by a Canadian company which is MTB Food Group Incorporation. It was bought for $100 million. Next is Levy. Levy Restaurant was named after Larry Levy, one of the biggest names in Chicago. In 1980, Levy became the first outside organization to create, own, and operate restaurant in Walt Disney World Resort. Under the deal on April 2006, the restaurant and catering company was sold to a British food service firm named Compass. The restaurant was bought for $250 million.
What happens when a company merge? In a capitalist economy, competition helps create jobs and keep prices fair. However, it can be brutal, leading to business closing or merging. Mergers and acquisition create new entities which may retain one's name or adapt a new identity. Kapag nag-merge yung two company, mas tataas yung competitive advantage nila and mas lalaki yung access nila sa larger market and customer base, which is yung sinasabi na monopoly. Means, sa business nila, sila yung pinaka number one or angat. The advantage is, mas lalakas yung nag-merge na companies. And, way din siya na, imbis na mag-close yung company, makikipag-merge na lang siya sa isa pang company para makabangon ulit yung company niya at tumaas yung competitive advantage niya. Horizontal mergers involve two competitors into one entity, like two grocery store chains joined together. Horizontal merger can lead to monopoly, which are generally prohibited by federal law. Interested parties can block mergers to prevent antitrust violation. Ang horizontal mergers naman po ay nangyayari kapag ang dalawang kalaban na company ay nag-merge. Magiging isa po sila. Example po dito is Amazon and Whole Foods. Same lang po sila ng company na nagbebenta ng grocery. Nakikinabang po yung Amazon sa supply chain ni Whole Foods. Si Whole Foods naman ay nakikinabang sa advanced technology delivery ng Amazon. Ang nangyayari is, malilesen yung competition ng dalawang company and mas magiging malaki yung opportunity na mas kumita sila since nag-merge sila na company. And pinagbabawal din ito ng federal law para maiwasan ang antitrust law violation.
Vertical merge. Vertical merge is occur when one company merge with or acquires another company in the same industry but with a different role in the production cycle. Bawa niyan is vertical merge is considering ng dalawang company. Example po yun is yung company ng car, syempre gawaan sila ng kotse. Then need nila ng supplier para makabuo ng kotse. So hanap sila ng company para makahanap ng supply para mabuo yung product. Like syempre car. Syempre yung car, di ba, need ng gulong. Then ang gagawin ng car company is makikipagtransaction sila sa supplier or sa company ng gulong para masupplyan sila sa kailangan nilang gamit or tires. Other is employee and stock issue. Employee may wonder whether their jobs are safe or what will happen to their stock. The answers depends on the circumstance. Example po ng issue, yan nga yung company. Halimbawa po yung company nagpalit na may-ari or yung dating shareholders na palitan or maaari din madagdagan ng may-ari or ng shareholders. Example po is halimbawa po yung sa Jollibee po, yung may-ari po ng Jollibee is binenta na yung Jollibee Corporate sa iba din, pero ako o ikaw po na nagtatrabaho doon is nandun pa rin. Kumbaga mag-iiba lang po ng iba na po yung may-ari pero posibleng yung position mo dati ay cashier or yung position ko dati or cashier, pwede po yung madagdagan or madagdagan ng mga gawain like dishwashing or tagaluto, ganito. Then Other issue, there are other types of mergers as well. A conglomerate merge, for example, involves the merge of two companies who have nothing in common but choosing to collaborate and from one entity. The best is, and the best of collaboration and great example of is eBay and PayPal. As a trading platform, eBay need a secure and reliable online payment system. So, when Those two firms, united buyers sellers, could trade more easily and safely.
Value creation in merger is like you combine the two businesses to create or acquire more value of the companies and to get a lot of profit than they usually do when they are separated. It's more likely to be said that a group is better than one because of the value it creates when it combines. There are two kinds of synergy. For a better understanding, synergy is the interaction or cooperation of two or more organizations to produce a combined effect greater than the sum of their separate effects. So when we say revenue synergies, it means that you are maximizing the business's profit in a way that both companies that are merged will generate more revenue. It was said here that some of the examples for revenue synergies are market expansion, production diversification, and research and development activities. Moving forward to the cost synergies, it's a way of business owners to reduce the cost of the company structure. They can use technology to minimize the cost and they can eliminate some expenses that are not necessarily needed just to have a minimal expenditure.
Increase in financial capacity. Every company faces a maximum financial capacity para po tustusan ang mga operations sa pamamagitan ng alimang utang or equity market. Yung pagkakaroon ng kakulangan ng sapat na kakayahan ng financial, may tendency na ang isang company may merge with another. As a result, ang isang pinagsama-samang entity or consolidated entity ay magsisecure ng mas mataas na capacity for financial na maaaring magamit sa karagdagang pag-unlad ng isang negosyo. Tax purposes. If a company generates significant taxable income, it can merge with a company with a substantial carry-forward tax losses. After the merger o pagkatapos ng pinagsama-samang company, the total tax liability ay magiging mas mababa kaysa sa tax liability of the independent company. Take note, ang pagkakaiba ng consolidated company sa independent company, ang consolidated company ay ito po yung combination ng magkaibang business units or companies into single or larger organization. For example po neto is yung airline industry. And then the other hand, ang independent company, ito po yung it operates on their own and makes its own decision regarding its business operations. For example, is yung Sea Oil Company.
Good day everyone. My topic is incentive for managers. Sometimes mergers are primarily motivated by the personal interests and goals of the top management of company. For example, a company created as a result of a merger guarantees more power and prestige that can be viewed favorably by managers. So, mergers are commonly done to gain market share, reduce cost of operation, expand to new territories, unite common products, grow revenues, and increase profits, all of which should benefit the firm shareholders. Additionally, managers may prefer mergers because empirical evidence suggests that the size of company and the compensation of managers are correlated. Although modern compensation packages consist of base salary, performance, bonuses, tax, and operation, the base salary still represent the largest portion of the package. Note that the bigger companies can afford to offer higher salaries and bonuses to their managers. And that's all.
What is a merger? A merger is referred to as a financial transaction in which two companies join each other and continue operation as one legal entity. Sa madaling salita, ang merger ay isang transaction kung saan nagme-merge at dalawang kumpanya at nagsasama bilang iisang legal na entidad. Merger can be divided into 5 different categories. Number 1, horizontal merger. Ito ay direct na competition na parehong merkado. Ang halimbawa nito ay ang merger ng Coca-Cola at Pepsi dahil pareho silang nag-aalok ng mga inumin na parehong merkado. Number 2, vertical merger. Nag-ooperate sa parehong supply chain. Halimbawa, ang merger ng isang kumpanya nagmimina ng bakal at ng isang kumpanya gumagawa ng produkto mula sa bakal. Number 3, market extension merger. Naghahalok ng kahalintulad na produkto sa iba't ibang merkado. Ang halimbawa nito ay kung ang isang kumpanya na nagbebenta ng teknolohiyang consumer electronics ay mag-merge sa isa pang kumpanya na naghahalok ng parehong produkto ngunit sa ibang bansa. Number 4, product extension merger. Naghahalok ng komplementong produkto sa parehong merkado. Halimbawa nito ay ang pag-merge ng isang kumpanya na nagbebenta ng kape at ng isang kumpanya na nag-aalok ng mga komplementaryo na pastry sa parehong merkado. Number 5, conglomerate merger. Nag-aalok ng lubos na magkaibang produkto o serbisyo. Ang halimbawa nito ay ang merger ng isang kumpanya na nagbebenta ng computer software at isang kumpanya na nagpo-produce ng sapatos.
Good evening, everyone. So this is Rodelio Villarte, Group 1, and we will discuss the Chapter 2, the Quick Food Service and Operations. So what topics I have to discuss is what happens to employees when an acquisition occurs, and then the company acquisition and employees. So, if you have an idea with this, so we can share your idea and then we can listen to your ideas. Okay, so let's start the discussion. So, for what companies do employees when an acquisition occurs? So, for someone sharing a business in an acquisition is one of the best things that can happen. It is usually means a company has gained enough traction to get noticed by someone much bigger and more successful, but the business being brought or bought is like stock. With its own team of employees, and each will immediately start worrying about what will happen to their old jobs. In some cases, where employees are let go, but in many companies, others they merge into the new company or allowed to remain with the previous company under new owners. So regarding on this, so um, when the company is getting from of the big companies, so an acquisition. So an acquisition is when company takes over another company. So and the acquiring company becomes the owner of the target. In other words, the acquired company no longer exists following an acquisition since it has been absorbed by the acquirer. The equity shares of the acquiring company continue to be to trade again. So, a company acquisition and employees at a business undergoing an acquisition. Uh, or it's important for employees to maintain calm. Employees will understandably be concerned, and their concerns aren't unwarranted. Approximately 30% of workers are deemed redundant after a business is purchased when both companies are in the same industry. But the statistics doesn't necessarily mean any of your employees are at risk hitting the unemployment line. Even if you later need to cut back, those workers could be shifted into other positions within the company. Either way, employees aren't helpless as they wait to see what happens next. So there are examples of that. So one of the examples is the Jollibee Foods Corporation. I know there are some, or as na, alam naman natin na kilala natin itong company na to. So they are buying stocks from the other company talaga. So let's uh, hear this, or you can have an idea with this discussion. GFC acquiring Magnusol for 30 billion pesos, with 30% being retained by the original owner. So why acquire? Before Manginasal came into picture, GFC controls 60% of the chicken business in fast food chains, with KFC, McDonald's, Wendy's, etc., and sharing the rest. So after 3 years in the business, Magnusol concerned 32% of the chicken business, reducing JFC shares to 52%, while 60% were shared by the rest of the players. So projected to grow by at an average of 40 stores a year, Magnusol will eat the market shares of JFC by as much as 40% plus. So projected loss is 5.5 billion. So this was happen when the company occurred. So the employees will. So when mergers and acquisition impact on employees is almost inevitable, especially if you are a part of the target company. It is common in M&A transactions for job positions to be redundant, which almost always means there will be layoffs. So, sometimes pagka kinuha na kasi ng ibang company, yung maliit na company, so nagkakaroon talaga ng layoff. So, may mga company na na-retain it because of their professional skills, but the other are not. So, that's only for today. Thank you for listening my discussion. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Immediately following accusation. After the initial announcement of the company accusation, there's generally a period of silence. It may seem during this time that nothing is happened, but there's a plenty of hard work going on behind the scene. Example of accusation. Ang accusation ay isang transaction kung saan binibili ng isang kumpanya ang karamihan o lahat ng shares ng isa pang kumpanya upang makontrol ang kumpanyang iyon. Ang mga pagkuha ay karaniwan sa negosyo at maaaring mangyari ng may pag-aproba ng target na kumpanya o wala sa pag-aproba. Kadalasang mayroon na shop close sa panahon ng proseso. Buyers and payroll expenses. The acquiring company is generally focused on growing its portfolio, and existing employees show up as a fairly large line item on the company's monthly expenses. If the buyer sees that budget needs to be trimmed, payroll expenses are only one of many ways that can accomplish.
Example of expenses. Federal taxes include federal income tax, Medicare, and Social Security. Other federal taxes are unemployment insurance and state income tax in applicable state. Withhold payroll taxes at each pay period, whether weekly, seems monthly, or other frequency.
Different buyout types before a business automatically assumes there will be any change at all to employees after merger. It's important to note that not all buyouts are equal. In some cases, one business buys another, simplified to grow its own financial portfolio. For example, imagine two companies, Company A and Company B. When the Company A buys Company B, it's called a buyout. But not all buyouts mean the same thing for employees. Here's the key difference. Financial buyout. Company A is only interested in adding Company B's value to its own financial portfolio. Think of it as adding Company B's points to their overall score. In this case, Company B is likely to keep operating as it is with minimal changes for employees. They continue doing their jobs using the same system and reporting to the same managers. For example, imagine a giant supermarket chain buying a small organic food store. The supermarket might be only interested in expanding its organic offerings, not changing how the small store runs. So the store's employees' products and even branding might remain the same. However, some buyouts do bring changes. Strategy buyout. Company A buys Company B because it wants to combine their strength or resources. This often leads to changes in operation, system, and sometimes even personnel. Some employees might lose their job. Others might see their roles stripped and new position might be created. Example, think of a car manufacturer buying a software company develop self-driving car technology. This will likely involve merging teams, restructuring departments, and possible letting go of employees whose skills no longer fit the new directions. What employee can do? If layoffs do happen, they likely target redundant workers. So, one proactive thing employees can do is to try to reduce the risk that they'll be seen that way. In some cases, the acquiring company will sit down with each employee and discuss current work responsibility. For example, imagine two companies merging like a puzzle. Some pieces like your unique tech skills fit perfectly with the new picture, but other pieces like redundant administrative tasks may not be needed. To stay in the puzzle after a merger, it's important to first highlight your unique skills. When discussing your role, showcase what makes you irreplaceable. Are you coding wizard? Are you social media whiz? Emphasize this special talent that the acquiring company wouldn't want to lose. Second, keep the business humming. Merger are stressful, but don't let it affect your work. Keep up your usually performance. Hit your target and show you're a reliable asset. Remember, the new company is watching you. Think of it like this. Unique skills equals special puzzle pieces. The more unique your skills, the less like you are to be replaced. Strong performance equals secure fit. Show your valuable parts of the new picture by the maintaining excellent work. By focusing on your strength and staying productive, you can increase your chances of staying on broad after the merger. So keep in calm. Showcase you're valuable to be the irreplaceable puzzle piece the new company needs.
My name is Ramon T. Pebrin Jr. from Group 3. Change in personnel. Executive management often comes under fire. A business top leader, including the CEO, will usually eliminated or absorbed into the management team at a new business. Sa mga pagbabago sa tauhan, sa panahon ng proseso ng pag-hire, ang executive management ay madalas na naharap sa pagpuna. Ang mga nangungunang executive sa kumpanya gaya ng CEO ay karaniwang tatanggalin o isasama sa management team ng bagong negosyo. Para sa mga manggagawa, ito ay maaring maging mahirap habang sinusubukan nilang malaman kung paano ang inaasahan nilang panahon at pagkatapos ng pagbabago. Ang mga pamumuno ay hindi lamang ang paraan ng pagbabago ng tauhan na makakaapekto sa iyong empleyado. Kung ang bagong kumpanya ay nag-aalis ng ilang mga posisyon, ang natitirang mga tauhan ay naiiwan para makaawakan ang ginagawa ng mga papaalis na manggagawa.
Change to benefits bilang karagdagan sa mga pagbabago sa papapatakbo or pamumuno, makikita usually sa mga employees yung madalas na acquisition na pagbabago ng kanilang mga benepisyo. Walang negosyo ang gusto magkaroon ng separate healthcare and retirement plan structure, and generally mismo company din ang pipili. Dito na pumapasok yung company-wide meeting or phone call para sa i-explain yung bagong benefit as well as a special enrollment. Para sa lahat ng employees na dumarating mula sa pinin company, gayunpaman, ang mga employees na may pension, for instance, halimbawa, nagkaroon ng concern tungkol sa losing the credit they put toward to retirement, nagkaroon agad ng action yung Employee Retirement Income Security Act para sa protection nito. Ang pagkuha ng negosyo ay dapat trabahuhin ng husto para matiyak na ang lahat ng employee ay masisiyahan. Dahil ang positibong moral ay parang pinakamahusay na interes ng company as a whole.
Stock option po is a contract between two people or two parties po. It depends na po siya sa pag-uusapan yung dalawa kung anong contract po ba yon, and doon na po papasok si vesting po. Vesting po is kung kailan mo makukuha yung stock or rewards mo, and pwede ka pong mag-withdraw or tumanggi na sa project na napag-usapan nyo.
Losing remaining employees. With any employee acquisition, leaders with the both acquirer and the acquiree must worry about losing employees through resignations and retirement. It's not unusual for a few top-performing workers to leave during a merger or acquisition, even if they know for certain their jobs are safe. Dito po sa losing remaining employees po, ito po yung pagkawala ng mga natitirang empleyado na kung saan ang mga leader ng acquirer at acquiree ay nangangamba dahil sa mga empleyado nila na umaalis.
There are a few reasons a business's best employees may consider leaving. Number one is poor communication. Ito po yung kakulangan sa pakipag-communicate sa ka-work mo or mga employees mo po. And second one, loss of treasure team members. Ito po yung kawalan o pag-alis ng mga matatagal na employees. And the third one is loyalty to terminated supervisor. Dito po is loyalty employees that only work hard for their pay, but they are committed to the successful of your company. Kasi kahit gaano pa ka-loyal yung employee mo sa isang company, may tendency pa din talaga na pwedeng magkaroon ng conflict. It's either na hindi maayos yung service or toxic yung workplace. And fourth one is uncertainty about status in the new organization. Dito po yung hindi po sila sigurado sa magiging status ng pagbabago ng organisasyon po nila. And the last one is resistance to change. Ito po yung kontento na po sila kung anong meron pong organisasyon sila. Ayaw na po nilang baguhin niyan. One is screening and vetting. Dito po, this topic is wherein the employee need to go through a qualification process like collecting data of the individual and interviewing them and give the examination. So you will know if they are fit for the job.
Signs a layoff is looming. After an acquisition, employee tension rises with fear job cuts. The acquiring company aims to organize before layoff. Avoiding prolonged uncertainty, signs include the acquisition itself and a detailed examination of operations. Massive layoff may leave executive to neglect areas, shifting work to others. If a team manager is laid off without a guidance, it causes anxiety. Employees should avoid excessive stress, affecting their overall well-being during this uncertain period. Kapag daw po ang isang kumpanya ay may bagong may-ari, doon po nagkakaroon ng pangambang mga empleyado na maaari silang mawalan ng mga trabaho. Bosses might ignore areas and give extra work to others. Dapat po talaga na aware tayo sa mga ganitong sign para po handa tayo sa anumang mga pagbabago.
Moving on after termination, for some employees, an acquisition may means the end of the road with that business. If you're one of the unfortunate few, you may find you are faced with some very crucial decisions. It is important to carefully review any letter you ask to sign it and necessary consult the authority. This is especially vital if it's a letter inhibit or your ability to work for your competitor. Ano nga ba ang termination? Kapag ang termination ay nakagawa ng mabigat na parusa na labag sa rules ng kumpanya, halimbawa ay nakapag-away, nagnakaw at hindi magandang performance at iba pa. Kapag ikaw ay na-terminate ay may papapirmahan sa iyo at mahalagang tingnan o intindihin ang papapirmahan at kung hindi ay pwede naman kumonsulta sa nakakaalam o sa isang abogado.